It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
My aunt called my mama on Friday and said that she was just murdered.
A key witness in the Dante Lucas murder trial is found shot dead in Denver.
My cousin was the witness right there. Where is witness protection?
Tonight, what this means moving forward to get justice for Kelsey Schelling. More businesses across the metro can now operate with fewer restrictions. But will Colorado follow in the footsteps of Texas and Mississippi to relax restrictions even more?
Now is not the time to release all restrictions. Every individual is empowered to do the right thing here, regardless of what the states decide.
All new at 8. Women-owned businesses are having a tougher time during the pandemic.
We saw the sales drop quite a bit.
But these resilient women are keeping a positive outlook on the days to come.
I think we have a fight in us that we can survive.
Plus, a parent's worst nightmare turns out to only be a false alarm at a Boulder County school.
We're always excited when it is a false alarm because nobody was hurt and there's no issues with that.
And the auction clock is ticking on hundreds of Colorado storage units.
Everything I had was in there.
But many of these people don't have the means to keep up with payments due in the pandemic. Now the state might step in.
We, of course, want to look at predatory practices across other industries, including storage, to make sure that nobody is taking advantage of consumers in their time of need.
Good Wednesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. On Friday, the prosecution will rest its case on who they believe killed Kelsey Schelling 8 years ago. But a key witness who was expected to testify that Dante Lucas killed Schelling was found dead in Denver last week. Prosecutors tell Denver7 that Roxanne Martinez was going to take the stand and say that Lucas admitted to killing Schelling. Police told us they do not believe Martinez was murdered because of the trial. But Martinez's cousin says he isn't so sure. He spoke to Denver7 today. He says at the very least, the DA should have done more to keep a witness safe.
My cousin was the witness right there. Where is witness protection? Why didn't our DA down here in Pueblo have protection for her when he knew she was an endorsed witness?
Police have not said if they have a suspect in Martinez's murder. Again, the prosecution is expected to rest its case on Friday. Five-star businesses in Arapahoe, Denver, and Adams County can now operate in level blue. Small businesses will pretty much operate along the same guidelines. Larger restaurants and gyms, however, will see their capacity limits boosted by as many as 125 people. As of right now, Colorado is not ready to ease up on any statewide restrictions. But across the country, at least 11 states are easing restrictions, with Texas and Mississippi fully reopening. As ABC's Marcus Moore reports, that has public health officials and President Biden worried.
President Biden tonight reacting to news that Texas and Mississippi are lifting all restrictions and mask mandates.
I think it's a big mistake. The last thing we need is the Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime everything's fine, take off your mask, forget it.
His public health officials also doubling down, pointing to another uptick in cases and deaths, with variants threatening to, quote, hijack our success.
I think that was ill-advised. It is really quite risky.
Stamina has worn thin. Fatigue is winning. Every individual is empowered to do the right thing here, regardless of what the states decide.
At least 11 states recently moving to relax restrictions.
Now, in Texas and across the country, we now have vaccines to protect Texans from COVID.
But in reality, Texas ranks 48th in administering vaccines per capita. The average daily deaths here have nearly doubled, and daily cases have increased by 75% over the last 10 days. New infections now more than they were when the statewide mask mandate went into effect last July.
Since the vaccine is not really readily available, I just don't really feel comfortable putting all my staff at risk.
And while some celebrate,
if you want to wear a mask, you're more than welcome to. Are we going to require any of it? Absolutely not.
Others are wary.
I know everybody's anxious. I'm anxious, but I think a few more weeks, month, maybe whatever the number may be, shouldn't hurt anybody.
Chef Ty Frazier tells me he will keep following CDC guidelines.
What happens when the surge goes up and then we have to shut down again?
Containing the virus crucial as the race to vaccinate picks up speed. 9 FEMA locations opening around the country today, from Pennsylvania to Florida. And at this one in New York, long lines before doors even opened.
The first day they said you could apply, I did, and I got right on.
And this is what it looked like inside the Javits Center. It can now open around the clock. That site able to vaccinate 8,000 people a day.
I got it.
In a virtual meeting with the House Democratic Caucus, the president touted the progress that's been made with their help, saying they've been able to go from a point of very little supply to being able to vaccinate every adult in this country by the end of May. But he added it will take time to get shots into arms. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Dallas.
Marcus, thank you. So what will it take for Colorado to fully ease up on COVID restrictions? Turn to Channel 7 tonight at 10 as we have a 360 conversation on what reopening will look like. Takeout booze could still be a thing post-pandemic. The current law allowing restaurants to sell alcohol to go expires in July. Colorado Republicans and Democrats alike want to keep it going indefinitely. Their bill passed out of a House committee today with an amendment that actually allows bars to send you home with an even larger drink of your choice. Unemployment fraud continues to be a major problem in Colorado and the entire nation. That forces the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment to divide its resources between legitimate claims and investigating fake ones. Along with the state attorney general, CDLE will make a special announcement about unemployment fraud tomorrow morning at 10. Colorado's rebound from the pandemic looks different from business to business. The pandemic has shuttered some businesses while others have reopened. A recent survey shows women-owned businesses are taking a big hit. Denver7's Addie Guajardo spoke to a small business owner fighting those statistics.
Adornments. It's been around 24 years. The big windows and stylish clothes off 3rd Avenue in Denver reel in customers.
I think everybody was scared.
Consuelo Diaz worked at the boutique, and when the owner, also a woman, decided to retire,
because it was a no-brainer,
she took over.
Then 6 months later, we were hit with the pandemic.
Cherry Creek North is home to more than 150 small businesses. Nearly half are co-owned by women. Women fighting to keep their doors open. COVID-19 has impacted women-owned businesses at a greater rate compared to their male counterparts. And a recent study by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce found that women business owners are less likely to see a strong recovery.
We saw the sales drop quite a bit.
But she didn't let up.
I think when you have women that are just have that fight to survive, which is what I had, because I'd worked too long at this little store to let it go under.
Diaz sprang into action.
We cut back wherever we could.
And her team got to work.
So we just came in here, photographed things.
She took her shop online and got creative to help sales during a time many people didn't have events to shop for.
What are you wearing for Taco Tuesday? What are you wearing for your Zoom meeting?
A recent survey shows less than half of women business owners surveyed in July believe revenue will increase in 2021 and are less likely to invest in their business or increase staffing compared to male owners. But Diaz has a brighter outlook on her business motto.
So I always keep saying it was 3 older women that jumped into action.
Action that's propelling her business.
I think the more of the population that gets vaccinated, I think the better it's going to be. I really do. I think that's the silver lining right now.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
A fortunate false alarm today at Centaurus High School in Lafayette. Lafayette police say a teacher thought she heard gunshots. Within minutes, the school was swarmed with officers. Class resumed late in the afternoon, and counselors were provided for students and staff alike. The campaign to recall 4 Douglas County School Board members is over. That effort was launched because of the delay in returning students to in-person learning. But last night, the board unanimously voted to allow all hybrid model students to go back in just a few weeks. The campaign's organizer says it will now focus on holding the school board accountable in this fall's elections.
Normally what happens for these school board elections, at least here in Douglas County, is everybody waits until September. They kind of run a short little 8-week campaign, and then the election happens. And we're not going to do that this time. Too much is at stake, as we've seen over the last year.
Last night's vote does not affect students who chose full-time e-learning. Everyone else will start in-person learning on March 22nd after spring break.
It goes deeper than just stuff.
Storage companies are putting items up for auction.
I'm 15 bidding now, 6.
That can't be paid off by Coloradans struggling to get by.
Things have to change with the laws and how things are handled with storage places.
Tonight, Contact Denver7 takes their concerns right to the governor.
It was in the 60s with sunshine today. Big changes on the way, rain and snow tomorrow.
And coming up later, young Coloradans are having to make tough choices between school and providing for their family.
How are they going to prioritize that? It's probably going to say, oh, I'm going to take some time off from school.
We look at the declining college enrollment numbers.